body contains about 2 to 5 grams of zinc. The blood concentration of zinc is 700 to 800 micrograms, 80% of which is present in RBC, 4% in WBC and platelets, and the remainder in the serum, largely in combination with protein. The serum zinc is about 90 microgram per 100 ml of blood. Human milk contains 3 to 4 micrograms zinc per liter, and its level can be raised significantly by high maternal intakes. So again, the normal serum zinc level is 90 microgram per 100 ml of blood. Okay, what are the functions of zinc? It serves as a cofactor for over 100 enzymes in the body, especially those involved with the metabolism of protein, carbohydrate, fat, and alcohol. In other words, the digestion, metabolism, the absorption, and the function of the other nutrients also depend on your zinc intake, or also depend on your zinc levels. Okay, another function is that zinc also is essential for protein synthesis, integrity of cell membranes, maintenance of DNA and RNA, tissue growth and repair, wound healing, taste acuity, prostaglandin production, bone mineralization, proper thyroid function, blood clotting, and cognitive functions. In other words, almost all body functions are dependent also on your zinc levels. Considering this nutrient's role in growth and development, zinc is an integral mineral for fetal development and sperm production. So, importante po siya sa pag-grow o pag-develop sa fetus inside the uterus, and also for the production of the sperm in the testes. Okay, so these are the dietary sources of zinc. You have oysters, 39 milligrams of zinc na siya. Beef pot roast, about 8.5 milligrams of zinc, and many, many more. Okay. What are, or who are the population at risk of zinc deficiency? Kinsang may at risk for zinc deficiency? You have those who have a marginal intake of zinc, the alcoholics, the elderly, and the low-income children and vegetarians. Okay, so most likely zinc comes from meat, from protein-rich foods. So if you belong to the low-income group, and then you are a vegetarian, so that would most likely lead to zinc deficiency. And what are the symptoms, signs of zinc deficiency? You have anemia, you have delayed growth, birth defects, spontaneous abortion, impaired sexual maturation, and sterility. It also would lead to delayed wound healing, and a low zinc level or zinc deficiency would also lead to glucose intolerance, poor appetite, and skeletal abnormalities. Toxicity, on the other hand, will only be manifested if the doses is above 18 milligrams per day of zinc. Okay, and the signs of toxicity are decreased levels of high-density lipoprotein, white blood cells, and copper, impaired cholesterol metabolism, and gastrointestinal disturbances, which can also result from excess intake of zinc supplements. Next trace mineral, we have copper. Copper is an essential trace element for humans and animals. The ability of copper to easily accept and donate electrons explains its important role in oxidation reduction reactions and the scavenging of free radicals. Approximately one-third of the total body pool of copper is localized in skeletal muscle. Another third is found in brain and liver, and the remaining amount of total body copper is found in bone and other tissues. Since copper is excreted primarily in the bile, diseases of the liver and gallbladder may affect the copper balance because it is the liver now which produces the bile, and it is the gallbladder which stores the bile. So any disease of those two organs can lead also to the imbalance of copper in the body. Okay, so what are the functions of copper? We have one. Copper is a component of prolyl and lysyl hydrolases, the enzymes involved in collagen synthesis. Because of that, connective tissue-rich tissues such as capillaries, scar tissues, and bone matrix are most sensitive to copper status. Copper also functions as the catalytic site of the antioxidant enzyme superoxide dismutase rather. Dismutase. Okay? So meaning, since copper is a cofactor of enzymes, it helps also in the function of enzymes and of other nutrients in our bodies. So it is very important to maintain also our normal body functions. Next function of copper is that the copper-containing plasma protein, ceruloplasmin, is integral to iron metabolism since it catalyzes oxidation of the mineral, which is required for its binding to proteins involved in absorption, transport, and storage. And then the fourth function of copper is that the redox potential of copper ions give it a key role in energy metabolism as a component of the cytochromes that participate in electron transport. So it's a component of the cytochromes. That is the key role of copper in energy metabolism. Okay, so for the dietary sources of copper, you have beef liver, oysters, cashews, and etc. Copper deficiency would lead to microcytic hypochromic anemia in the presence of normal serum ferritin. That is a primary clinical feature of marginal copper deficiency. Copper deficiency would also lead or may also lead to skeletal abnormalities, reproductive difficulties, impaired nervous tissue function, and changes in the hair and skin pigmentation. So these conditions have been observed in severe copper deficiency. So marginal copper deficiency, microcytic hypochromic anemia in the presence of normal serum ferritin. The severe copper deficiency that will lead to skeletal abnormalities, reproductive difficulties, impaired nervous tissue function, and changes in the hair and skin pigmentation. A role for copper in the maintenance of bone mass has been determined from observations of osteoporosis in preterm infants born with inadequate copper reserves, depigmentation of skin and hair, central nervous system abnormalities, hypotonia, hypothermia, hypochromic microcytic anemia, skeletal mineralization in infants and children are also results of copper deficiency. Sama ng hypotonia, no? Loss of muscle tone. Hypothermia, hubo siya o body temperature. Hypochromic microcytic anemia, so anemia is low levels of hemoglobin or RBCs, no? Microcytic anemia, gamay na siya ang RBCs. Gamay. Okay, so what about copper toxicity? Large dose copper supplements amounting to 10 to 20 milligrams per day may contribute to liver damage abnormalities in red blood cell formation or excessive accumulation of copper. Next trace mineral, we have manganese. Manganese is a mineral element that is both nutritionally essential and also potentially toxic. Manganese is from the Greek word meaning magic, and it remains appropriate because scientists are still working to understand the diverse effects of manganese deficiency and manganese toxicity in living organisms. Only about 10 to 20 milligrams of manganese is present in the adult body. So for the functions, manganese has an antioxidant function. Manganese superoxide dismutase is the principal antioxidant enzyme of the mitochondria. A number of manganese-activated enzymes plays important roles in the metabolism of carbohydrates, amino acid, and cholesterol. So now, although these trace minerals are needed in small amounts as compared to macrominerals and even smaller as compared to our uh, more essential minerals, no, like protein, carbohydrates, and fats, but those protein, carbohydrates, and fats cannot be metabolized by our bodies well if we lack the minerals that helps metabolize it. So, like manganese, for example, no, it plays an important role in the metabolism of those three important nutrients. Another function of manganese is that it is the preferred cofactor of enzymes called glycosyl transferases, which are required for the synthesis of proteoglycans that are needed for the formation of healthy cartilage and bones. Manganese is also required for the activation of prolidase, an enzyme that functions to provide the amino acid proline for collagen formation in human skin cells. Okay? So, daghan kaayo no kuan importance ang mga minerals labi na sa function of the enzymes in our bodies. Okay? So, these are the adequate intake of manganese, and these are the dietary sources. Manganese deficiency in humans has not been documented, but has been induced experimentally in animals. And based on those experiments, it led to poor growth and abnormal reproduction. Ang natestingan ana sa laboratory are rats and mice. Okay, pero sa humans, wala pa na record nga or na document nga manganese deficiency. Through experiments lang niya. Result of this experiment, poor growth and abnormal reproduction. Toxicity also, wala reported cases from dietary intake. So no reported cases of toxicity, that is, resulting from dietary intake have been reported. Manganese toxicity has been observed, however, from inhalation of manganese-containing dust by workers in mines and steel mills, manifested by adverse effects on the central nervous system. So toxicity because of inhalation of manganese-containing dust leads to central nervous system problem. The next trace mineral is iron. Iron is a key element in the metabolism of almost living organisms. In humans, iron is an essential component of hundreds of proteins and enzymes. About 60 to 75% of the iron in the body is part of hemoglobin, 5% is in the myoglobin, about 26% is found in the liver, spleen, and bone marrow. Alright, so what are the functions of iron? Iron is important and is responsible for oxygen transport and storage. Iron is also important in the electron transport and energy metabolism. It also has its antioxidant and pro-oxidant functions. It is responsible for oxygen sensing, and it is also important in DNA synthesis or in the synthesis of DNA. Iron is also necessary for hemoglobin formation. That's why if you lack iron, it may lead to a certain type of anemia. Iron is an active component of tissue enzyme involved in the conversion of beta carotene to vitamin A, which is also responsible in the synthesis of purines, antibody production, collagen synthesis, and other functions associated with the respiratory chain. You see, it's needed in small amount because it is a trace mineral, but the function is so amazing. So small but terrible yun yung mga trace minerals, no? Because no matter how small they are, how minute they are, but they are very important for our bodies to function normally also. Okay, so these are the RDAs of iron. As you can see, especially in the adult population, no, females need more iron than males. Okay, sabi na 19 to 50 years old, males only need 8 milligrams of iron per day, but females need 18 milligrams of iron per day. That is because we are menstruating, no? This is why we need more iron. And in pregnancy also, iron requirement is also increased, no? That is from 27 to 30 milligrams of iron per day. And then in breastfeeding, lower na ang requirement, but still higher than the non breastfeeding, non-lactating, and non-pregnant women. And these are the dietary sources of iron. Usually, foods that are rich in iron are red meats or organ meats, itong mga laman loob, red meats such as beef and pork. Okay, it's also rich in shellfish. However, if your patients or your clients cannot afford meat in the diet, or if they chose to be vegetarians, then they could also consume iron, no, from nuts, from whole grains, and from green leafy vegetables. Okay, so what will happen if you are deficient with iron? Deficient of iron, rather, no? So, kung kulang kang iron, it may lead to iron deficiency anemia, which is characterized by low hemoglobin levels from lack of sufficient iron for synthesis and by decreased corpuscular volume of red blood cells due to lack of sufficient iron to support growth. As what I have mentioned a while ago, no, iron is important for the production of hemoglobin. And I said a while ago also that because of that function, a lack of iron or deficiency in iron would lead to a particular type of anemia, and this is that particular type of anemia, iron deficiency anemia. Okay? So, the signs and symptoms of iron deficiency anemia includes pallor, sa mga luspad, no? Kay kulang man ka o hemoglobin. So, walay mo carry sa oxygen. And oxygen is what makes you, pink or red. So, pallor is fatigability, dizziness, insomnia, and lack of appetite. So, what causes iron deficiency anemia? It may be because of inadequate intake of iron caused by poor quality sources or poor cookery, that is nutritional anemia. Iron deficiency anemia may also be caused by excessive excretion of iron, caused by blood loss in pregnancy, in parasitism, and blood donation. So that is in the case of hemorrhagic anemia. Iron deficiency anemia may be caused by inadequate formation of red blood cells because of vitamin B12 deficiency caused by lack of intrinsic factor. We'll discuss vitamin B12 deficiency anemia when we go to the topic of vitamins. Okay, so that's it for iron deficiency anemia. Other symptoms of iron deficiency with or without clinical detectable anemia are: we have short attention span, apathy, irritability, hypoactivity, impaired cognitive development in children. And in the adult population, iron deficiency contributes to poor immunocompetence. So, immunocompromised ka, no? Kung may COVID, talaga ka matagtag COVID if you are deficient with iron. It may also lead to irregular heartbeat, fatigue, pallor, and then you have clubbing. Okay, unsa man ang clubbing? Pallor or paleness of oral mucosal tissue ng pallor, ha? And then clubbing, unsa man ang clubbing?
Extend sa
Unang
toenails.
mahimong concave, pale, imuhang nail beds, no? Murag spoon shape, imuhang nails. I mean, imuhang, nails and fingers. Kaya nga naman, that is a normal response of your body when you lack oxygen. And when you lack iron, so most likely it will lead to anemia. And anemia will lead to lack of oxygen. So, when clubbing ka or concave pale nail beds. It will also lead to behavioral changes. What about toxicity? Since